Good day, everyone. So we are the second reporter, and we will be discussing about the media and information languages. So before we proceed to the deeper meaning or yung elaborate more about media information languages, let me first discuss what is media information languages. So this is a very important concept nowadays, especially now that we are living in a digital age or digital era where media is a big role in our daily lives. So of course, we use media in our daily lives, like in our school, in our workplace, and anything that it involves media. So media languages refers to the codes, to the symbols and signs and rules used to communicate messages through different forms of media. So just like how we communicate our feelings, our thoughts, our ideas to our friends, to our family, to our loved ones, meron din daw language ang media. So it helps us to understand kung ano yung gustong ipahiwatig ng media at maintindihan natin ito. So just like how we have our spoken and written language, that's yun yung sinabi ko kanina, to express our thoughts. Media also has its own language in order for it to help us understand more and to understand what it is trying to say. So, for example, in a lightning, when we are watching movies, horror movies, nag-involve dito yung lightning, yung background music. Di ba pag nanonood tayo ng horror movie, yung background music is nakakatakot. So, mas napapahiwatig ng producer or ng director ng movie na nakakatakot yung scene na yun. So, it's very awkward naman if we are watching horror movies and then yung background music is like happy siya. So, nawawala na yung tense na nafe-feel natin or yung takot. So, parang yun yung language na gustong ipahiwatig ng creator ng movie. So, next is when we are using the emojis, hashtags, and memes. So when we are posting pictures or stories in our Facebook or different media, social media platforms, we are using emojis. It is to help us to express more what we feel. So for example, we are in love. So we use the heart emoji. Parang mas napapahiwatig natin na in that specific photo, we are in love because nga meron siyang heart emoji na yung red. So for example, we are broken-hearted. So gumagamit tayo ng heartbroken na emoji. Parang mas na-express natin na broken-hearted tayo. So mas yung mga viewers natin o yung mga nakakakita ng pinost natin is mas alam nila yung gusto nating ipahiwatig. So ganun yun. So I will give you a simple real-life example para mas maintindihan nyo kung ano yung media information languages. So, for instance, when we are watching commercial that shows a happy family eating fried chicken together, the codes like smiling faces, yung mga tumatawa sila, yung mga anak nila masaya at parang nasasarapan sa pagkain. So, gumagamit din sila ng bright colors na nagsasend ng message na masaya sila. It means na yung product na kinakain nila or yung food na yun is masarap or nakapagpasaya sa kanila. So it also conveys that happy yung pagbabanding ng isang pamilya. So as a viewers or audience na nanonood ka sa commercial na yun, we might feel hungry or we feel convinced na to try. So the producers are the advertisers who created the commercial. So and the stakeholders can be the fast food company and even the government regulating the ads. So yun yung media information languages. Parang hinihelp tayo na mas maintindihan pa yung gusto ipahiwatig ng media para sa atin.
Hi everyone, I'm Leslie Tandalan and I will discuss to you the media codes. So before we proceed, let us first define what is media codes. So media codes describe as a tools used to construct meaning in medium, form, and product. So media codes can be a camera angles, lighting, color, and settings. So there are three types of camera codes. First is technical codes, second is symbolic codes, and lastly is written codes. So in technical codes, these are the method of using equipment and technical process to create a meaning in media. So for example of camera angle is close-up shot. Close-up shot can be suggest intimacy and also show the important details and the character reaction. It also establishes an emotional connection between the characters and the audience. Next is lighting and sound. So lighting and sounds also important in producing or creating a media product because it will give a meaning and convey message to the audience. So for example of lighting and sounds in a horror movie, di ba? Pag sa horror movie, yung lighting ng horror movie is medyo madilim and may shadow. Then yung sound niya is scary. Yung mga audience, mas madali nilang maintindihan or malaman kung ano ang genre ng isang movie pag yung lighting and sounds are klaro siya or match siya sa pinapalabas or gustong ipahiwatig ng producer kung ano may yung message ang gustong iparating sa audience. So now, let's proceed to symbolic codes. So symbolic codes, it refers to the use of objects, setting, costume, and body language to convey a deeper meaning to a media products. So example of symbolic codes is color. So color black can be represent dead or evil. Another example is setting. A dark abandoned house can be symbolize fear or mystery. So now we will talk about written codes. So written code, it is a formal written language used to create a media product to convey meaning and inform audience. So for example of written codes are headlines, caption, hashtag. So this example, you can find it in newspapers, posts in social media, and etc. So, in conclusion, media codes are like vocabulary that can convey both denotation or literal meaning of an object or something, and connotation can suggest a emotional meaning.
Hi everyone, so I'm the third reporter, so my topic is convention. So, convention are the accepted practice, established norms, and expected ways that media producer use a specific codes to create meaning and inform audience. So, convention is this is which are understood instinctively, which audience repeat provide a shared grammar for the understanding and engaging with media products covering everything form, genre, specific story, structure, and character acts to layout elements and technical choices in film or print. So, here's the three types of convention. So, first is form of convention. Second is story convention. Third is genre convention. So let's start with form of convention. So these are the standard expected features of or ways that a particular type of media is organized, create familiarity for the audience. Example, the masthead and most important news on the front page of a newspaper, the use of opening and closing credits in a film and loading screen and tutorials in games. So here's the first example is newspaper. We have the masthead, which is the title of the newspaper at the top of the page. Next is front page. Contains the most critical news story, and back page often reserved for a sport, less critical news. And next is film and TV shows. So opening credit, it introduced the film or show with music and titles. Closing credit, list of the cast, crew, and other production member that and details at the ends. And lastly is narrative structure. So it is a common storytelling pattern like cause and effect.
So next is um, story of convention. So story of convention are the established common narrative structure, device, and understanding patterns of the writers used to shape a storytelling, convey meaning, and engage audience in media products. So here's a key story for convention. So first is narrative structure, second is cause and effect, third is character construction, and lastly is point of view. So first is So, here's a history convention. So, narrative structure. These are the common ways stories are organized like chronological or non-linear timelines to make them understandable to an audience. So, cause and effect. So, this is the chain of events where one action or motivation directly lead to another, driving the plot toward engaging the audience. So character construction, the consistent ways in which character are built, including their motivation, action, and how they deeply throughout a story. So point of view, so from whose perspective the story is told, which can be subjective through one character or objective, a third person fly on the wall perspective. So lastly is the genre convention. So genre convention are the common elements like character setting, themes, or plot points. The signal are specific to readers, viewers, such as a detective in a mystery, a monster in a horror story, or a quest in fantasy. So here's our three examples of genres. So first is horror, like a spooky, isolated location like in an old house or dark forest. Supernatural streets such as ghosts, monster, an atmosphere of tension and fear, often amplified by creepy music. So next is romance. So this is a meet cute, the initial often charming encounter between the two main characters, like a love triangle where the tour between two potential partners and a satisfying happy ending, frequently involving a wedding or commitment. So last is mystery. Clues and red herrings for the detective to follow a whole unit structure where a crime must be solved. A classic detective figure who uses deduction to solve the case. Thank you. Okay.
So, hello everyone, I'm Eliza Almereses, and my assigned topic is the media messages. So, a message is the meaning created through codes and conventions. So, when we say codes, these are systems of signs and symbols that gives meaning to the message. And conventions are generally accepted ways of using these codes. So, explicit versus implicit. So, when we say implicit, ito yung message is directly natin maintindihan. So, for example is 15% off today. And implicit naman is may hidden meaning yung message. So, framing what is emphasized or left out. So, framing, it is a how the message is being presented. So, for example is sa mga sa news headline. So, sa headline pa lang is malalaman na natin kung about saan yung news na yun. And next is ideology and values. Repeated patterns can normalize certain beliefs, beauty standards, gender roles, consumerism. So ideology is the are the things the media message is based on, while the values are the things the media message tells us are important. That's all.
So what is audience? So audience or receiver. They are the people who receive and make sense of medias. Like example, the videos for posts, news, or shows. So, first we have the demographics and psychographics. So, shape how they understand the content. So, like demographics, facts about them, the age, language, and their culture. So, for example, the 15 years old might love TikTok trend, while the 50 years old doesn't not laugh about the TikTok trend. They just watch it and nothing happens. So, second, we have the psychographics. So, psychographics, their inner traits or interests, values, beliefs. Someone who cares about the environment will react differently to a plastic waste. So, second, we have the active audience. So, the active audience or the not just consumers, but audience don't just watch or read the content. They do things like comment on a post and make fun art. Like they like some issues, they check if it's true, and also they join groups to fight for a cause. Like they want to fight the truth or the false. So third, we have the uses and gratifications. Why people choose media? So some people choose media to get what they need. Like for example, info. They checking like weather apps or news. They check. Oh, they want to know if like the news, what's happening to our world. So have also like fun. They watching comedy shows like that. Third is social connection, like sharing memes with friends. Fourth, we have identity, following a fitness influencer because they want to live a healthy life. So lastly, we have the escape. So binge watching a drama to forget a stressful day. Fourth, we have the filters and bubbles. So algorithms or computer programmers shows you a content they think you will like based on what you've clicked before. This can create like echo chambers. You only see ideas that watch what you already believe. Like example, if you like mga dogs videos, your feed, like your news feed has mostly like a dog content. Like, and also it can make misinformation risk. So you might miss different views. So wrong informations can spread easily. So what is producer? Producer are the people who create or put together media content like news stories, videos, social posts, or memes. And also it can be ads. They turn ideas into something that audience can see, read, or hear. So their roles is there are many types of producers. Each producer has a specific job. Like for example, journalists, they write on news or report on events. So second, we have the editors. They fixing and improving writing footage before it shares. Third, we have the directors. They lead how a video or movie is filmed. For example, guiding actors or camera angles. Fourth, we have the influencers or streamers. They make social media posts or live videos for their followers. Example, like their daily lives. They sharing to us what happening to their daily lives. So lastly, we have the community managers. So talk to the audience, for example, replying to comments and keep online groups active. We have also decision they make. So producer choose also everything about the content. So what story or topic to focus on? Example, journalist picks local festival to cover. Also, we have who to get information from or where they will get information. So like example, sources like interviewing doctor for a health story. So we have also how it looks or sounds. So example, videographer uses close up for an emotional scene. So the tone or friendly for a TikTok, serious for a news report. So where to share it? So they share it to Instagram, Facebook, or newspaper. We'll proceed to gatekeeping and agendas. So gatekeeping, producers decide what gets shared and what stays hidden. So for example, an editor might cut a boring part of a videos. Oh, have also agendas, things that influence these choices like sponsor like a brand paying an influencer to talk about their product. Like example, if the influencer talk about the product in a short time of it means the money they pay is small. So can't film everywhere if the budget is small. Or platforms rules like TikTok banning violation content. Lastly, we have the ethical responsibilities. Producers need to be honest and kind. So it includes the accuracy. Accuracy is to tell the truth about the content. Second, we have the fairness. Include different sides of a story, not just one opinion in a content. Third, we have the transparency. Say if the content is sponsored. Like for example, you are going to make a content. Oh, you need to put it. Suppose is partnership with this brand, like that. So ask a permission before using someone's photos, story, or voice. Lastly, we have the level AI content. Note if a photo, video, its text was made by computer, not a human.
Good day everyone. So today I will discuss you about the other stakeholders. So first we have platform and algorithms. So example of this, no? Think of a social media platforms like TikTok or YouTube's. So now they use algorithm to decide what content to show you. If you engage with dance video, so algorithm will show you more or those on maybe less news. So second, we have advertiser and sponsor. So advertiser and sponsor is example of this no yung sa company. So company pay to advertise or show our platform. They made us the creators to promote their product or avoid certain topics. For example, a food brands to promote their product is they will sponsor it, may sponsor a cooking show and ask the host to be kind to their products. So number 3, we have regulators and standard bodies. So example of this no yung sa MTRBC. So when we said MTRBC, so no MTRBC sila na yung nagre-rate ng movie. So, na example no, yung sa R18, it means only suitable for adults or 18 above. So number 4, we have civil society and fact checker. So when we said civil society and fact checker, no? So an example of this, no, yung sa mayor. So mayor will promise to improve public transportation is fact checked. So during an election debate or referring if the progress has been made or if it has just a campaign. So it is just a campaign promise. So parang kwan siya or yung civil society and fact checker. No, yung parang magpa-promise siya sa'yo during election pero hindi niya ito gagawin. So last, we have communities and subject coverage. So nasa community and subject coverage naman nun, we have a news report, features like a local communities, culture festival. So no, yung parang nagbo-boost, yung sila yung sa community kasi is parang sa Palawan, no, i-report nila yun ng ang ganda-ganda talaga ng lugar, marami kang mapupuntahan na beach, yung sa beach is maganda talaga para ma-boost yung lugar na yun para sa mga tourists and to promote their heritage. That's all. Thank you.
So now that you know what is media information languages, let us discuss why media and information languages matter. So first, clarity. Knowing the grammar helps creator to communicate effectively across the formats. So just like grammar in spoken languages, media languages also have rules that guide communication. So when producer understand these rules, they can deliver clear and effective messages across different formats like TV, newspapers, or social media. So example, yung mga news anchors uses formal languages. Nag-use din sila ng professional attire and a serious tone when they delivering yung mga balita. So these conventions help ensure that the audience clearly understand that the news is credible and maaasahan or importante yung news na dinideliver nila. So next is the critical thinking. So when audiences understand codes and conventions, they can analyze messages more deeply, right? So this helps them identify bias, spin, or manipulation in media. So for example, yung mga political advertisement, nag-show ng mga positive sides only ng candidate. So ini-ignore nila yung mga flaws. So, if you know media languages, you can recognize the persuasion technique and not be easily influenced. So, next is the ethics. So, being aware of media languages also means understanding how messages affect different stakeholders, audiences, producers, and society. So, for example, a responsible journalist avoids using sensational headlines that may cause panic because they know that exaggerated words can mislead the public. So, if you know na maraming nanonood sa'yo, you will not use yung mga sensational headlines o yung mga exaggerated words na alam mo magkukos ng panic sa mga tao. So, this leads to more responsible content creation and consumption. Next is creativity. So, mastering the conventions of media allows producers to innovate. They can choose when to follow the rules or break them with purpose to create the impact. So, for examples, in a movies, director might break the usual convention of a happy ending to surprise the audience and deliver a deeper message. So, for example, nanonood tayo ng love story. So, parang feeling natin na happy ending, magkakatuluyan sila. And then, ginawa ng director, sinurprise niya yung mga audience by delivering na namatay or hindi sila nagkatuluyan yung sa movie. So, it can deliver a deeper message. So, for the last one is civic participation. So, media literate citizens can evaluate news, detect misinformation, and engage in discussion on social issues. So, understanding media languages helps them make informed choices in society and democracy. So, example, during elections, citizens who can analyze campaign ads critically are less likely to be swayed by false promises and more likely to vote wisely. So, that's all for the media information languages.